Never forget to thank the Lord. Every first light of the sun, and every morning start over again. Little by little a new man is born within us, within us. Do not ever lose hope. After the storm there is always the sunshine, and you and I will always be more than two, always more than two, always be more than, always more than two. Forget the pain, today's worth the love. Remember your smile is what warms my heart's up, and sharing will be more than enough. Is this fraternity creating bonds among us, among us? What counts is how hard you work to pursue the good, and you and I will always be more than two, always more than two, always be more than, always more than two.
All the heavens organizing to transform us deep inside. Jesus is already helping us to reach a brand new life. Ways of actions of such beauty can come from our own two hands. Feelings that are so triumphant bloom so naturally. Well then, I better be ready inside, so that I won't fight or comply. Invincible love has to grow and reach everyone. All I want is just to share my love, a whole lot of new affections gain thereof. There's a light that comes to shine so bright into our minds for our God to glorify. All the heavens organizing to transform us deep inside. Jesus is already helping us to reach a brand new life. Ways of actions of such beauty can come from our own two hands. Feelings that are so triumphant bloom so naturally. Well then, I better be ready inside, so that I won't fight or comply. Invincible love has to grow and reach everyone. All I want is just to share my love, the whole lot of me. shine so bright into our mind, for our God to glorify.
Come on, my friend, come to the light. Every our heart and soul, let's follow Jesus Christ. Let us preach the peace, let us preach the love. In this world already wonderful, will be much more. Get up, look at the sky, and the earth where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let us hold our hands and be together on this road. And we take peace and love and spread it to the world. Good vibes, laughter, and shout outs. So into the world, always follow the footsteps of our Lord. All roads that I shall walk on. So in seasons of peace, these lights that keep shining brighter, brighter, home. We'll be brighter, brighter, home. We'll be brighter, brighter, home.
Now guys, let's sing everybody, working with the vowels.
My life is very happy night and day. With thee I really feel a bunch of energy. The eyes shows me how important is to give. I am over helpful, that's how I love to live. Whoa, working is so good, it's good. Whoa, working is so good, it's good. Whoa, it's so good. A-E-I-O, you have a lot of work to do, and I'm inviting you to U-O-I-E, dedicating heart and soul. I am happy every day. A-I-O-U, I'm inviting you to U-O-I-E, I am happy every day. A-I-O-U, I'm inviting you to U-O-I-E, I am happy every day. Every day. Every day.
Bye-bye! Let's go on, let's go on. Beijos!
Never lose your faith in the brightest of your eyes. Never let the sorrow bring you down. Put a face of who does not know what you want. Keep on moving, you are not alone. There are so many ways, just be brave, making good use of your time. Hey, hey, ah, I hug of a friend or a smile. Anything else that you can share side by side. All of us with crowds will fulfill the deal with the real. Hey, ah, you. Hey, Jesus by your side. This way is much easier to go. You'll be glad and never become blue. No one lives alone. We all need to have someone, so we can find out that love is light. Now we can feel all the hope of growing up. A little seed of fraternity and peace in each and every heart that exists. And side by side with Jesus we go on. No one lives alone. We all need to have someone, so we can find out that love is light. Now we can feel all the hope of growing up. A little seed of fraternity and peace in each and every heart that exists. And side by side with Jesus we go on. Peace in each and every heart that exists. And side by side with Jesus we go on. And side by side with Jesus we go on.
Hello, brothers from so many nations. It is with joy that we are here in our Concafras global webinar. My name is Frederico, and I'm from Luanda, Angola.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. We are very happy to be gathered here today. My name is Aline, and I am in California, USA.
Concafras is a meeting of Spiritist volunteers that seeks to bring study activities, practice of charity, and the dissemination of Spiritist teachings within everyone's reach. We have several opportunities for everyone to know more about Spiritism.
Exactly. And here at the Concafras Global webinar, we will get to know a little bit more about the spirited teachings, bringing some interesting topics. There are many cool options. Spiritism brings to us answers to all the doubts.
That's right, Aline. To prepare us for this moment, let us say our initial prayer together. I invite everyone to close our eyes so that we can better concentrate our thoughts. Let's seek the peace of our soul, and let's thank God once again for this great opportunity of being together once again. May God bless everyone. May God bless our houses, our families, our friends. May God bless everyone that suffers at this precise moment. May the good spirits be with us, helping us to understand a little bit more about the laws of our Father. So be it. Hello again, everyone. If you are watching us and you want to know a little bit more about Spiritism, congratulations, you are in the right place. Spirited teachings brings us consolation for the most diverse afflictions of life, clarifies where we came from, where we are going to, what are the causes of our suffering, how we can improve our attitudes and live better lives, and much, much more. Is that correct, Aline?
Exactly, Frederico. And the Spiritist teachings are a blessing for everyone who knows it. This is why we are here today in this wonderful event, Concafras Global webinar, to bring Spiritist enlightenment around current and pertinent questions. Is there life after death? Can we communicate with those who have died? Or is there reincarnation? Why do some children remember the past? How do science and spiritism explain reincarnation? In this event, Concafras Global webinar, we will have two lectures that will clarify this and many other questions. In addition, after the first lecture, we will present it to you by first hand an unmissable opportunity to make your life better. Be present during the whole event so you don't miss the news. Here are at the Concafras Global webinar, we'll get to know a little bit more about the Spiritist teachings, bringing some interesting topics. There are many cool options. Spiritism brings the answers to all the doubts we have.
Yes, Aline, you are correct. Today's program is amazing. I know what this opportunity is. Trust me, you don't want to miss it, but don't worry. We are not selling anything. No, not at all. I just remembered at the end of this evening's program, we will have the spiritual treatment at a distance. Okay? So stay tuned.
Yes, and also we will have the spiritual atonement at distance with the application with the past. And we know that for the spirits there are no borders. So the spiritual treatment at a distance is totally possible to meet our needs. You who are at home watching us, prepare a container or a bottle of water to be magnetized during this moment of treatment.
Shall we start with our program, with our lectures? So the first talk will tell us a little bit about life after death. I know that some of you already know some, okay? So is there something after death? Where do we go? Are we going to rest for eternity? Can we meet with those who have already passed away? We have invited our friend Alberto Araújo from Angola to share with us some of the teachings, some of the answers, some of this great knowledge. Alberto.
Hello. Thank you for joining us, me in this brief study of life after death. My name is Alberto Araújo, and I'm from Luanda, Angola. One of the oldest questions in human existence, in human history, and many cultures have elaborated on is what is life after death would look like. So this subject is still of many interest in our days. And Spiritism sheds some light on this topic. Okay, I hope through this brief explanation, we can share with you what we know, and hope you can be more interested to join us in our study programs in Global Kardec Online course. Okay, so I'm going to quickly share my slide. Okay, so life after death. Okay, as I stated before, is one of the oldest questions in human existence. Human history, through many cultures, elaborate on what is life after death, and we will try to give you an explanation now. Okay, so first we have to start with what is the definition of death. So death destroys only the denser envelope or the physical body. So the definition of death is the destruction of the physical body, and it's by Allan Kardec in the Spirit's book in the introduction. Okay, so each one of us is made of three components. First is the soul or the spirit, which holds the intelligent principle within its all knowledge, virtues, and moral sense. Secondly, we have the body, the dense and material envelope, which we temporarily use while incarnated on Earth. And third, the perispirit, which is semi-material and serves as a link between the soul of the body. Usually, I tend to explain this when who knows a little bit about computers, that its body is the hardware, perispirit is the BIOS, and the spirit is the software. For this, so for software work with the hardware, we need this BIOS. Okay, this perispirit that is going to bind us together, the spirit to the body. Okay, the death happens, or the death of the physical body happens because of the exhaustion of the organs of the physical body, which can no longer function properly. So when our organs collapse, our body can no longer work properly, and then this is the definition of the physical death, the death of the body. Then when the death of the body occurs, the body goes through a process of destruction, or rather disaggregation from our soul or from our spirit. So, but the soul itself remains alive, and we retain our intelligence and individuality, and that all survives death. So in essence, we remain the same. Okay, so what happens, what does the soul become after death? Question 149 from the Spirit books that we're going to see now. Since the soul survives the death, the next question is what happens to our soul after death? Spiritism can help. Dedicated scholars of Spiritism since Kardec, they've been studying and elaborating many studies about this. Through mediumship, the knowledge that we today know that this the knowledge from communicating with spirits. Okay, so through the mediumship, we receive this communication from the spirits, and based on that, we compile the information, and they have compiled this information and studies that we're going to share some of them here today with you. So the first case is the case of the dead soldier. Sorry, it's a book, The Crisis of Death, by Ernesto Bozano. He's one of these scholars. He's Italian. Okay, he wrote this book and papers on parapsychology and spiritualism. He investigated the process of death and what happens after death, which were later published as a book called The Crisis of Death. The analysis of a series of messages from spirits transmitted through mediumship. He described the moment of death and experiences in the spiritual world. Okay? So in this case, a soldier is describing the discarnation process to his sister. We have to note the following, that her sister is the medium, okay? But she have no previous knowledge or exposure to spiritualism. She declared herself as with a low education level because her father had passed away very early. She could not continue her studies. She developed the mediumship through the influence of her discarnated brother that would inspire her to write these letters, okay? Her brother dictated many letters which the sister received by automating writing or psychography. So the story is that he was hit on the edge of a trench and died quickly, okay? He then see himself outside the body wearing his regular uniform, but he feels fully felt, okay? He first thought was about his son and his wife, where he is instantly transported to his house to his son and his wife sleeping side by side. Then he sees about his sister and her mother, and he is in the same way transported where they are. Then he returns where his body is on a trench. Okay, he knew he was dead. Okay, and at that time he sees spirits approaching him. He could not recognize immediately who he was, but once the spirit calls him, he recognizes it was his father. Okay, his father have remained at his side, comforting him during this process of discarnation, where we usually are confused about if we have died or what is happening, because we could see. We usually say this: I could see all my life before my wife, all my life before my eyes. So it's confusing, but it's we can resemble this as well when we burn again, and you know it's a new process. We're restarting the process of living. Okay, then he takes him to his home where they live together, waiting for their mom to join them. In the book, there's also a passage where, when arriving at his home, he recognizes an uncle that he never met, his uncle Walter, okay, that he says in one of these letters that he met during the sleep while dreaming, okay? So what does the soul become after death? It becomes a spirit again. It returns to the world of spirits that it had left for a time. So this is the answer to the question of 149 from the Spiritist book. Okay, this case shows us that when we die, our soul leaves the physical body and returns to the spiritual world, the place that we had left for a time while incarnated, and we will now see why we need to incarnate. Okay, so the spirit world is the normal, primitive, eternal, pre-existing, and all-surviving world. Once again, from the Spirit's book in introduction, Kardec writes this to us. Okay, once again, let's remember that this is Spirit's books, but this is because Kardec would ask the questions and the spirits would reply, and how we would know if this were reliable and trustworthy answers is because different spirits to different mediums will reply the same thing. And based on this scientific method, Kardec codified the and compile the spirit books. So another case that we can mention is the of the life in the spiritual world is After That by Leon Denis. How can we learn more about the spiritual world? Leon Denis is one of the main French spiritist philosophers who disseminated spiritism after Kardec's death. His work, published in 1897, entitled After That, detailed the study about the death, from beliefs and fears surrounding the death to the life to the spiritual world. He also describes how higher the spirits live. Okay? The books explains the role of affection and family ties that unite souls after death, and the role of the spirit guides or protectors, which many of us call the guardian angels. We all have one of those friendly spirits who come to our assistance during our difficult moments in life, from the birth till our death, okay? Meaning the physical death. Another book that explains the life in the spiritual world is Nosso Lar by Francisco Cândido Xavier, the exceptional Brazilian medium who, despite his modest education background, he only finished elementary school, managed to write by psychography more than 400 books. In this collection, called The Life in the Spiritual World, dictated by the spirit André Luiz, the first book is Nosso Lar. In this book, André Luiz details about his own death and life in the spiritual world, okay, the process of dying, the death of the physical body, and how he, let's put it this way, awakens in the spiritual world, okay? The earthly world we live, he described, is an imperfect copy of the spiritual world, because he relates that we find in schools, cities, homes, and hospitals. He explains that the spirits engage in different types of activities. They work, they study, they appreciate art and nature. Okay? So he says, he goes on and says, our stay in the spiritual world serves as a moment to study and learn new skills, preparing ourselves for the next reincarnation and put in practice the lesson learned in the spiritual world. So, in fact, what André Luiz is telling us, they are there to learn more, so he can reincarnate and keep on evolving. Okay, and this is why we need to reincarnate. Okay, but if you would like to know more about this, okay, this book in detail, in our study program, Global Kardec Online School of Spiritism, please enroll after the end of the webinar, so we can reach you, and hopefully you will learn more about this. Then we would like to come to this conclusion. So we shouldn't be afraid of death, because future life is not a hypothesis, it's a reality. All the spirits, different spirits, we just mentioned some examples, they communicate with us through mediums, to different types of mediumship, and explain us and give proof of existence of life after the death of physical body. So the future is not, the future life is but a continuation of earthly life, only under better conditions. This is from the book Heaven and Hell, item number 10, again by Allan Kardec. Okay, so Spiritism teaches us that we should have no fear of death, first. Secondly, that life doesn't end with the end of the death of the physical body. So we should not revolt or despair in the process of death, because that is not the end. With the death of the loved ones or our own, we understand that the life continues in the spiritual world, so beyond the physical life. The life in the spiritual world is the continuation of our incarnated life, but in better conditions. Spiritism invites us to think about the death as a transformation process with no change of our spiritual essences. So that that we usually say is that, oh, we think that when we die we became better persons. No, better person. No, in essence we are the same. Okay, we will remain the same. So we should understand also that the death of the body, and when we come back to the spiritual world, a spirit is like moving from one city to the other, but we remain what we are. Okay, we don't change just because we die. Regardless of the condition of our present reincarnation, it is on us to face our present life as an opportunity for us to learn and improve ourselves. So the main purpose of reincarnation is to learn and improve ourselves. So we should face the difficulties and the challenges we live every day with that in mind, meaning we need those challenges, we need those hardships and difficulties so we can overcome, learn with them, and we keep improving ourselves. Then when the time of death arrives, which nobody knows exactly when it's going to happen, unless God, we can be confident that the life will continue after the death of the physical body. We'll have new opportunities to reunite with our loved ones and learn and work and grow. So the life goes on. There is life after death, if we can put it this way. We almost, our time is up and we have finished. We reach the end of our study. If you want to learn more about the life after death and many of those topics, join us in our Spiritism courses at Global Kardec. Thanks for watching us and God bless us all. I hope to see you soon in one of our classes. God bless you all.
Thank you, Roberto, for this wonderful lecture. And Federico, how enlightening this talk was. To understand there's life after death. How consoling it is to know that our friends or dear family members who have already passed away are still alive on another realm. And it seems that the people at home also liked the first lecture a lot. Look at all the comments.
Yes, it is. It was really very enlightening for us, for all of us, indeed. So can we have some of the comments posted on our social media? We have Vivian. Vivian, she's from Kenya. Hello, Vivian. How are you? Aline?
Yeah.
Who do we have more?
This comment is from, I think, I'm not sure if I will pronounce the name correctly, but I think it's Ibrahim.
Ibrahim. He's from Nigeria. Yes.
Oh, that's good. Welcome to our webinar. Thank you for coming. And one more.
Lucas.
Go ahead.
Yes, Lucas. Great to know that life goes on. Indeed, it goes on. Death is not the end.
Right. And one more for our friend Leonardo. So the death is material only, exactly. So yeah, many questions being answered here in this lecture, huh?
Yes, indeed. It was very, very interesting. Thank you, Alberto. Thank you. So you who are watching our event, have you ever asked yourself why there is so much suffering in the world? What is God? One day, will the world end? Can I establish communication with those who have already died? Why are there so many family problems? Have you ever stopped and made these questions for yourself?
I do. And you who are watching us, we want to tell you that all these doubts have an answer. Next Saturday, September 10th, the course Get to Know Spiritism will begin, and you can participate. And one more thing, it's totally free.
That's right, Aline, totally free, okay? You can register now by clicking on the website www.concafrasglobal.com, okay? Or in the description of the YouTube video that you are assisting now. It is Very easy. Just select the big red button that is saying, I want to enroll in the course Get to Know Spiritism. Click now to register. Do not miss this opportunity. And I want to add that some of the people that are watching right now, they are already students from the Global Kardec Get to Know Spiritism, okay? So share this link with your friends, with your family, with whatever you think that can benefit from this course, okay, from this knowledge.
That's awesome. And now we'll begin our second lecture with the topic Scientific Evidence for Reincarnation. It is a very interesting topic. Most people believe that we live several lives on Earth. But what science say about it?
That's right. And who will give this talk is our sister Ana Oliveira from Alabama, United States of America. May Jesus involve and inspire her. See you in a minute.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anna Oliveira, and I'm talking to you from the state of Alabama in the US. And I'm going to talk about scientific evidences of reincarnation. So, this very interesting area of research, the research that looks into evidences of the life after death, can be divided in four main areas. So the first one looks at reincarnation, and that we can do in two main sub areas. We can look for spontaneous memories in children or spontaneous memories in adults about past lives. Another area is transcommunication or communication with the spirits, right? And that can be mediunic, when you have a medium facilitating that communication, or it can be instrumental when you actually have an instrument, we can call a machine that is actually going to capture that communication. The other two areas are the studies of near-death experiences and out-of-body experiences. But today we're going to focus only on reincarnation and actually more on spontaneous memories in children, because the evidence that we get from this area of research is thought to be stronger than spontaneous memories in adults, right? Because these children that usually report those spontaneous memories are very young. So there's less time for them to be influenced by all the other information around them, things that they read, things that they see on TV. So because the evidence, it is considered stronger when it's coming from children than adults. That's where we're going to focus today because of our time. But I just want to make sure that we all know that. So, especially the area of past lives therapy or conscious regression, right? Or regression therapy, where people actually, and it's very used to treat phobias and fears that people have. And you have here and on the screen a lot of different researchers that actually contribute significantly to this area of research. And you can see here in Russia, US, Brazil, France, and Germany, just to name some of them. But like I said, we're going to focus this talk in spontaneous memories in children. And for that, we're going to highlight three main researchers in this area. So we'll talk first about Professor Barnerjee from India. We'll talk about Dr. Ian Stevenson from the US and also his contributions. And we'll give an example also from Brazil with the engineer Hernani Andrade. So talking about Professor Barnerjee from India, right? From this university in Jaipur, India. So director of research in this India Institute of Parapsychology. He was actually the pioneer of this type of research at the university level. Started some time ago in 1953, and he has led a group of diverse researchers into this area. So with over 1,200 cases investigated, and he authored this book, Americans Who Have Been Reincarnated, where he can, the contributions actually of Barnerjee, of Professor Barnerjee, it's actually beyond only just investigating and reporting these cases, but his publications also give a lot of information on the protocol, on the scientific method that needs to be used in these investigations. And you can see how very controlled those studies are and very strict and very specific. They really are very sound scientifically. So he provides in his books, for example, not only the reports, but also the how-to, the protocol, with the explanations on how he's actually conducting these studies. Now moving on to Dr. Ian Stevenson from the University of Virginia School of Medicine in the US. So he was one of the first ones to actually computerize analysis and have this database of cases of children that remember, past lives. So he had in the beginning 1,000 cases, but he has investigated, he and his team, more than 2,600 cases, right? And he has a lot of books, but he also publishes as a researcher in research type of journals. For example, if you search for his name, you can see that he has published in 1993 in the Journal of Scientific Exploration in his area of research that he's pioneer, that we call birthmarks, right? So he noticed that in studying those children, those cases, that around 1/3, 34, 35% of the children that he was investigating, they had birthmarks in the current life that actually correlated with wounds or the way that this person died in the past life. The other example that we want to talk about is Hernani Guimarães Andrade, who was an engineer and the founder of the Brazilian Institute of Psychobiophysical Research. So he has several books, in Portuguese, but that also has been translated in Spanish, like Reincarnation in Brazil, or where he talks about 8 cases of reincarnation. So he explains the investigation and those cases in that book. But he also did some studies investigating what he calls the model of biological organization. So that it will be similar to a spiritual body that actually is it's associated with us and is attached to us since our birth, right? And that captures all our biological alterations, that captures all of the experiences that we have since our birth, right? So this is one of the areas that he worked, being an engineer, right? So very familiar with math and physics, and the use of models. So that is one of his contributions. So these 3 main researchers and others, right, have been documenting and researching in a very methodological, sound, and very systematic way, these cases of children that actually remember their past lives. So I'm going to go over just like the summary a little bit of what are these results that they found. So if we look in the cases resolved by country, because not every single case that is reported to them, they call it solved, right? Sometimes they classify that as unsolved because they don't find enough evidence to really link this person in this life with their past life that they are reporting, the child in this case. It doesn't mean that the child is lying, the parents are lying or anything like that. It's just that from the criteria that they have for their research, it didn't meet all the criteria, so they consider that unresolved. But you can see that a lot of these cases are resolved, and with the percents, like in the US, 20% of the cases were resolved, in Thailand, 93%. If we look at the age that most people or most of those children remember past lives, you can see that they are very young, where the age starts right around 2 years old and peaks, maximum 4 years old. And then you see that later, the older children, it's less common for them to remember. So it's usually very early. Again, if we look in general, not by country, like I showed you in the first time, if we think about the ones that they could verify, the ones that they couldn't, 89%, so the vast majority of the cases were resolved, right? They can actually verify, and they do a lot of, they will do an extensive survey. They will, look back at records, do interviews with people associated with that. So it's a very extensive study. So 89% are solved. If we look at the gender reassignment in the reincarnation, so 35%, around 35% of the cases, it's the same gender, but 65% actually come with a different gender. If you have been studying spiritism, that's not a surprise for you that is possible, right? And if we think about the time between one birth and the other, that is also a very short time. So usually in months, the time in months. So sometimes some cases, 1 year, but mostly 2 to 3 years, and then less cases if that time between one birth and another, or one life and another, it's longer, right, than 48 months. The relationship between family, right? Do these children come in the same family, or do they come in another family? So only 34% of the cases had a family relationship between this life and the next, but 66%, 2/3, right, had no family relationship. And like I said before, in terms of birthmarks corresponding to injuries or wounds that they had that caused their death in the past life that now they're showing in this life. So around 34% had birthmarks, but the majority, 66%, had no birthmarks. So all of this, it's just to show us that this idea of life after death is not just of the spiritism, but it's a scientific idea that has been studied by many researchers, that the evidence is mounting already and is out there for us to read and for us to be familiar with and for us to learn more. And I hope that you got curious and excited, and that you can continue your studies, and that we all, with this knowledge, can live our lives, knowing that, life does not stop at the death of the physical body. Much peace to all of you, and thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much. Aline, it was really interesting to see the scientific evidence of reincarnation proving what the spirits already told us back in the 19th century. Is that correct?
Right.
Indeed. And also we have some countries here that are enjoying this lecture. We have Angola, we have Nigeria. Who else we have, Aline?
We also have a friend from Kenya, from USA, and from Brazil.
Nice. Welcome,
And
everyone.
also, Frederico, we just saw that many people already have enrolled in the course Get to Know Experiences, as you mentioned before. But it is good to point out that this course is totally free, and we can do it from our home, like us right now. The classes are dynamic and interactive. In the course, we will study the scientific and philosophical aspects of Spiritism. So, don't miss this opportunity. Register now for the course Get to Know Spiritism, which will begin next Saturday, September 10th. And Frederico, I'm a little bit confused. Can you tell us how do I do this enroll to the course?
Yes, it's very easy. Just click on the link in the comments of this video and you will be automatically enrolled. If you are on a computer, it is also there on our website, www.concafrasglobal.com. Okay? It's a big red button that says, I want to enroll in the course Get to Know Spiritism. One click and you're done. The registration is made and you are ready to attend the first class, which will be on September 10th, okay, next Saturday. Don't miss this opportunity to learn more about Spiritism. Enroll and join us.
I will not miss the opportunity, and why I will do my enrollment here. So let's see one more review from a student of the course last semester.
Gostado bastante do grupo de estudo. Tem várias reflexões que eu me permitia ter durante a minha jornada aqui na Nova Zelândia, que elas foram sendo vistas de outros olhos a partir do momento que eu adquiri esse conhecimento do Evangelho, do Espiritismo, né? E eu comecei a praticar bastante no meu dia a dia e eu senti essa melhora no meu dia a dia com esses aprendizados que eu estava tendo, com esses ensinamentos que estavam sendo repassados para mim.
Okay, thank you, Aline. We are going to initiate a very special moment, which is the spiritual treatment at a distance with a pass.
Wow, this is a great moment to us. And the pass is a transmission of energy, of vibration. Even if we are not close, these vibrations cross great distances. It just depends on our connection and our commitment.
Let's all together connect with Jesus and with the good spirits, asking for comfort, healing, and support for our lives, our families, our friends, and humanity.
And to do so, we ask everyone to find a quiet and calm place. Sit down the most comfortable way as possible and prepare to participate with your vibrations.
Good point. You can leave a container or a bottle of water nearby to be magnetized by the good spirits.
Lord Jesus, Divine Master, we thank you so much, Lord, for this amazing opportunity. May God bless us during the pass that we are apt to receive. Let us then mentalize at this moment a waterfall of crystal clear water falling abundantly upon us. As it falls, may it cleanse our hearts of all the difficulties we might have cultivated throughout the day and week. We are now feeling cleaner and fulfilled. Thank God. Let us now mentalize the sun shining bright upon us. May it bring us Jesus' warmth, Jesus' peace, the peace that Jesus grants to each one of us. Let us feel stronger, calm, confident, with our hearts filled with faith, certain that God is among us all the time. We thank you, Lord Jesus, for these moments of peace. May God bless us all. So be it.
What a peaceful moment, huh? Federico, it was a memorable, emotional, and refreshing evening. And remember, we'll begin the course Get to Know Spiritism next Saturday, September 10th. And everyone can participate because it's totally free and online. If you haven't registered yet, click on the link below the video and register.
Exactly. This worldwide study program was specially designed to support people from different parts of the world, people that are interested in knowing more about Spiritism. It follows Kardec's thought of systematic studies. As at a school, the depth of the subject discussed will increase according to students' progress in this program.
And how about a feedback from another student who is studying at the Global Kardec?
Let's see it.
Eu sou aluna do grupo de estudos Noções Básicas da Doutrina Espírita e estou aqui para compartilhar um pouquinho de como tem sido a minha experiência. Para minha surpresa, a proposta desse curso ela vai muito mais além do que eu imaginava. Com a reforma íntima e a leitura de uma obra espírita paralelamente com o estudo dos principais conceitos, nós somos incentivados a pôr em prática mesmo tudo aquilo que a gente aprende na aula no nosso dia a dia. A gente tem algo que motiva a gente a estar refletindo sobre nossas ações e realmente colocando em prática aquilo que a gente aprende da doutrina, né? A gente começa a colher resultados positivos. Eu já tenho com certeza notado grandes diferenças, mudanças em comportamentos e até mesmo, né, da forma de lidar com as situações que acontecem na minha vida por conta justamente desse grupo de estudos, né, do que eu tenho aprendido lá.
Thank God we have Spiritism, this counseling knowledge in our lives. If you are watching us, you probably have a good reason. Take the chance to get to know Spiritism. You will not regret it, okay? This knowledge can change your life. Come to Global Kardec. Come to study Spiritism with us.
For sure. I will participate of Global Kardec, for sure. So come and be part with us. Do your enrollment now. We are waiting for you in our courses.
Exactly, Aline. And our event is coming to an end, isn't it?
Oh, I know. But it has been a wonderful sharing these moments together. And don't be sad, Federico. We will be together again in December. You know what's going to happen in December? We will have
what is going to happen?
Well, we're going to have the Christmas special Concafras Global. It's a unique moment. Check it out.
Exciting! Last year, this event was wonderful. Okay, guys, and if you want to know more, please visit our website, www.concafrasglobal.com.
Exactly. And before close praying, we have a special request. It's very important to us to know what you think about our event. So please fill out the evaluation questionnaire that is right in the comments in this video description. It is a quick survey. It's not going to take you more than 5 minutes. And it will help us a lot to organize our next events. So you also have the questionnaire available on the website if you could not find in here, okay?
Okay, so we are coming to an end, and we would like to invite our friend Bill from Ohio, United States, for our closing prayer.
Great God, Master Jesus, Spirit friends, we thank you for today's lessons, bringing the light of your wisdom on the great questions that have troubled humans throughout time. Thank you for sanctifying this virtual space and guarding against those who would do us evil. Help us to help them see the path that leads to your house. We ask for continued help and guidance so that we don't lose our way. Enable us to hear your voice whispering the truth in those darkest hours, and guard us from those voices that whisper falsehoods. Help us stay the pathway we have chosen for our journeys. We are humbled by your wisdom and strength. We are honored to serve and to deliver your message to our friends and our neighbors across all countries around the world. Show us the way to find peace and happiness. So be it.
So be it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us, for being with us today. God bless us all. And I really hope to see you next time. I really hope to see you next Saturday, okay? Remember, the Get to Know Spiritism course is going to start next Saturday.
Exactly. And thank you everyone again. And see you all at the Global Kardec.
Bye-bye.